From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow, of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX rocks, ETX rocks.
Hey guys, Boston Chris here with the #1 resource for independent music in Northeast Texas. It's the ETX ROCKS Show, and it's finally the Season 3 finale, episode 300. And as you guys know, we have interviewed over 100 songwriters here in Season 3, including some of the biggest names in country music like Whisperin' Bill Anderson, Leslie Satcher, Aaron Enderlin, the list goes on. And today we have the ultimate opportunity to talk to three of the best ever. We got Vince Gill, Mark Germino, Tony Arata, here in Linden, Texas at the beautiful Music City Theater. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Survived.
Survived.
We fooled them again.
You
We're
made
here.
you made it to East Texas. Well, first of all, welcome to East Texas. We're glad to have you. And so you guys are doing a songwriter around here in Linden, Texas tonight, just swapping stories and original music, which is where it's at out there, guys. And I just wanted to kind of talk about your craft a little bit, if that's cool with y'all. One thing that I've heard over the years of doing this and really kind of getting into the mind of a songwriter, is a lot of times you can really polish up a song, you can have it for years kind of kicking off to the side, think it's ready, then you get it into the studio and at the last minute, something changes. Maybe you hear something different on the way to the studio, and I think I've heard stories from you, Vince, about I Still Believe in You was an up-tempo song.
Yeah.
And then the last minute you heard, I think it was
If I Can't Make You Love Me.
yeah, Bonnie Raitt, and it completely changed the song.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how often that happens for a songwriter, for each of you.
Well, I've been taught that a great song, you can play it any way you want,
Right.
and it kind of holds up. You know, Fred Foster, great record producer, a sweet friend of mine for a million years, said a great song, you can do it slow, you can do it fast, you can do it shuffle, you can do it, you know, straight eights, whatever way you want to do it. If it's really a good song, it kind of holds up and will take just about anything you throw at it.
Has that happened for you guys as well? At like the 11th hour, just changed up a song?
No, not for me, but I have changed things like guitar parts, you know, in the studio situation at the last minute.
What are some of the factors that you think motivates change in your process at the last minute?
Well, for me, it was more about not changing things sometimes, just because somebody said, you know, this song, I want you to add a bridge.
Right.
And invariably, every time I try to do that, it would sound like, you know, it didn't belong.
Right.
And so sometimes you just have to know when you're done and leave it at that.
And do you think experience really tells you that? Or, I mean, as a younger songwriter, I imagine that's not going to be something you can lean on yet.
Well, I think if you're singing a song and you get to a different part of it and it seems the least bit out of place or
Right.
awkward, you're going to know.
Right. And so you think that's just personal preference? Or?
Well, I just try to, you're always trying to write the best thing you can on any given day.
Right.
And as I said, there's two things you have to know. You have to know when you're not done with a song, and then when you are done with a song.
Yeah.
You know, have to kind of live with it.
And that can be the biggest part of the process in an evolution process for a songwriter is knowing the difference between done and not done.
Right.
I think the hardest thing with a young songwriter and a young musician, a young singer, anybody young, the real exercise is to watch them learn to edit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really amazing. You know, you take a lot of great Merle Haggard songs, they only have one verse, one chorus.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, why isn't there more verses? Well, the story's been told.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole point. You serve every song in hopefully in the most proper and necessary way. You know, if you've got this beautiful thing, you don't want 9 notes behind it playing. Maybe you want 3. And at every turn in the process, you know, I mean, a great song also gets to become a great record. You know, and with that, everything's kind of, to me, up for grabs. And what's the most eloquent way to tell that story?
Right.
You know, once you realize you've gilded the lily, then you know you need to stop. And
Yep.
sometimes a listen is worth 1,000 words.
Right.
I learned it as a musician early on.
He's right about Haggard too, because I remember the first
Yeah.
time I heard Silver Wings, I went, God, it's a bridge.
Yeah.
And Haggard did it.
Oh, what the
You know,
great
it's
thing about
beautiful, too.
Haggard was just sometimes the lack of structure told the story better than just following a certain path. You know, like he was so good at staying outside the path, like roaming through the woods, so to speak, instead of staying on the narrow path. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard the song "No Time to Cry" by Merle. It's just a rambling about all kinds of different things that's going through his mind that's making him sad, and it didn't follow any kind of structure as a listener. And I love music like that. You know, sometimes the simple dumbed down music is the best form of
we're good at
communication.
dumb.
You read my book.
Yeah.
Mickey Newberry told me.
How often do you guys, now you've all had ultimate success in the business as a songwriter, and so how often do you know right when you're getting started on a song that it's going to be something good?
Right away,
Yeah.
sometimes. Right away. It's like, how am I going to screw this up now?
Right.
You know, it's, yeah, sometimes it's like a power surge. You know, for me, it's like, this is going to be something.
I mean, all any of us have at the end of all of this is just what we can do. You know, and all we have is that moment in time. This is the best I had on that day. This is the best I can sing this song this day. It's the best I can play it. I've written this song. I don't know what else I would say. And at some point, you just kind of got to go, I got to let it go.
Yeah.
And then it's out of your hands.
Yeah.
Whether it's great or not great. And regardless of what happens, no words changed and no music notes changed in the listening of what you've created.
Right.
So you can't always let the results be your definition of what you've done. Some of my favorite songs are the ones nobody's heard.
Right.
You know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
You know, I was going to make the point that Mickey Newberry told me once that he didn't think a song was ever finished. And he liked to work on it for the rest of his life. And tweak this,
Yeah.
tweak that.
And I've
or
heard
not.
that from a lot of different
Yeah,
people,
not.
that they'll have a song that they've written partially, you know, maybe in the 80s, and then they pick it back up in the late 90s. But yet other people I hear, you know, that road has been traveled. I'm done with that song. There's nothing I can do to make it better.
Well, there's always something you could you chase that the rest of your life.
Exactly.
You know, but once again, like I said earlier, that's where I was in that space and time.
Right.
And that's what I had, you know. And I mean, I'm like anybody else. I cringe at a lot of my earlier work. You know, I don't know if I do.
Yeah, I know.
And I cringe at the way I sang, at the way I wrote, the way I played, everything. And I just like this journey, this lifetime of getting to do it. You know, I think I'm doing it better right now than I've ever done it.
Right.
Regardless of success.
I think you would all agree that you're probably better now than at any point in your life.
I hope so.
So what do you guys feel is the biggest factor that got you from that point to this point?
Well, age is a wonderful thing, you know, because at some point you realize, all right, I'm never going to be cool, and so I can scratch that off the list, and then you just concentrate on presenting the songs as best you can at any given, you know, like tonight, you'll play it the best you can or sing the best you can, and then you just have to let it go.
Right.
Sometimes the youth is, as Twain said, is wasted on the young, and they worry so much about everything.
Yeah.
And then you get to be, you know, mine and Mark's age.
And they always want advice, but they never want to listen to it.
That's why I asked my girls, I said, why do we send y'all to college? You already know everything.
Right, yeah. Well, my 17-year-old son, his nickname is Google, because he knows everything.
That's right.
And just ask Google.
Yeah.
That's right.
We also call him Huggies because he's full of crap. Yeah, for sure. One thing that we've talked to a lot of songwriters, been really blessed to talk about and pick the brains of some really creative folks. And one thing I always found really, really intriguing is the difference between writing solo and co-writing. So I always throw a question out, like, what pros and cons do you feel like there are that exist within a co-writing structure, rather than just writing alone?
Well, I don't do a lot of co-writing, but I really appreciate, I think the best success I've had as a co-writer was in the old school style of writing where somebody brings a very big musical element to it, and then, you know, you concentrate on the lyrics.
Right.
In the old school, you know, like, you know, not to compare, but Backrack and David they were classic because you got 100% of each.
Right.
You know, a great melody and a great lyric. And also, I don't co-write because I'm really in no rush to finish.
Yeah.
So, and you can waste your own time. It's a whole nother thing when you're wasting somebody else's.
I don't co-write that much either, but I have co-written and I enjoyed it. But I was thinking about the time you and I wrote the song together, and I thought, you know, I really enjoy being with him. He doesn't make me mad. He's great to be around, period. He's easy to be around, and that's kind of what I look for when I co-write is, am I going to make anybody nervous, or are they going to make me nervous? You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's kind of neat to open yourself up to learning something from someone else. You know, being inspired by somebody else's gift is just as much fun as doing it your own. I've done it both ways. Some of my biggest songs I've written by myself, and some I've co-written. I like the camaraderie factor. I like the hang. You know, and everyone's different. Some people I'll lean much more on musically, and I'll be the lyricist, kind of driving the train, and vice versa. You know, because I'm a musician too.
Yeah.
Melodically, I think that there's certain songwriters like I always point out Roy Orbison as being so unique because he was enough of a singer and a musician that he could tailor make those unbelievable
runs.
Melodies
Yeah.
to suit what he did.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, that I love what Roger Miller said. You know, they asked him, do you co-write? And he goes, did Picasso co-paint? I don't think so. But, you know, it's kind of all okay.
Yeah.
You know, there's not one way that I would say is more important or better, or, you know.
I think it's almost like building a relationship with someone too, like a marriage almost. You know?
Well,
so there's a lot of risk involved in that.
It's hard to be vulnerable in
Yeah.
front of somebody else.
Right.
Because we're all insecure. I found Eric Clapton to be just as insecure as I am, and it was so refreshing.
Yeah.
You know, to find out that we're all just a little bit nuts to ever want to do this in the first place.
Right.
You know, to lay yourself out there to be judged is a very difficult thing to do and a dangerous thing to do. But it's also rewarding in that if you have this conversation, you'll get something back. That's why you play in front of people, because they give you something back.
Right.
And if it just goes out in the ether and you're the only one that did it or heard it, nothing ever comes back. And that's why, to me, music is so much more about a conversation or a collaboration.
Do you guys think it benefits a younger songwriter more to be more open to a co-write, or should they really own their craft first?
I always thought that you could be a much better co-writer if you could take a song from start to finish. I mean, if you can complete the whole thing alone in a room together, you probably have a lot more to bring
Right.
in a setting where you're working with somebody else. But I mean, I've enjoyed. Vince and I have both written a good bit with a fellow by the name of Pete Wasner, who's just a wonderful, you know,
Great musician.
pianist, great
Yeah,
musician, and really good.
Was he not the one who co-wrote "I Still Believe in You"?
No, it was John Jarvis.
John Jarvis. That's right. Dang.
Well,
Somebody should like have a
that's all right.
electronic
Whenever you
buzzer
come
on.
around, I wrote with Pete and
Okay.
a bunch of others. So
Yeah.
old mates for 40 years.
Nice. Fame and success. All of y'all have, you know, had your share of each. How has that changed your craft, if at all?
Well, Well, I wrote long before anybody cared, and so I don't know how much it changed, other than the fact that I've been very grateful. I can say this honestly, I've been very grateful for everything that's happened, but I'm pretty sure I'd have the same satchel full of songs whether we were having this conversation or not.
Right.
I think all of us, that's what you do. You write songs, and we've been all been blessed that some of them have been heard. But I think, in my case, I would have certainly written them regardless.
Right. Mark?
I'm aware of my strengths, but I still have always felt a situation like this. I'm Donald Duck at the last summer. You know? So, and I'm comfortable with that.
I'm an in the moment guy. I've always been fortunate to just be grateful for the moment I'm in.
Yeah.
I never looked ahead. I never looked back. And
Wow.
so it's kind of right now is all I've got.
Wow.
You know, yesterday's gone, and I don't have the guarantee of tomorrow.
Wow.
So you better find a way to embrace this right here, because that's all there really is.
Very well
Man, I
put.
got chills right now. In the moment, guys.
Yes,
Live
sir.
in the
Yeah,
moment. Absolutely. Wow. You should be a prophet.
No, I'd have to grow my hair long.
No, we leave that up to Donald Duck here.
Oh, Doug, he's our prophet. We follow him all over the country.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys spending a few minutes with us,
Yes,
talking
sir.
a little bit about songwriting.
bet.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks very much.
Pleasure.
Austin.
You guys, this has been episode number 300 of the ETX ROCKS Show. Guys, season 3 is over. Season 4 will begin in 2019. We're actually taking some time off for a change. We've filmed 300 of these shows since June 2016. So less than 2.5 years. And I appreciate you guys spending some time with us tonight.
Thank you for supporting songwriters.
Now, do you guys, obviously everybody knows Vince's social media, but do you guys have social media as well?
I don't.
I don't do it.
Oh, of course not.
I've never sent a text.
Well, you know, I saw some reports on you that you were very, very old school.
Extremely.
Extremely old school.
Yeah, I've never sent a text.
Wow.
The office will have a presence, and they tell what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This and that.
Well, you should run for office then.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
I have a sordid future.
I don't answer text,
Well, of course not. No, you're not supposed to.
so
You're not supposed
I
to.
don't answer.
You guys, tune in again. 2019 season 4 coming at you. Again, thank you guys. It's been Vince Gill,
Thanks.
Mark Germino, Tony Arata, amazing songwriters, some of the most successful and legendary guys in the craft in country music and beyond. Check them out. Keep following the songwriter. Original music is where it's at. We'll catch you down the road.
From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX